Phat, P-H-A-T, pretty hot and tempting.
So Ben.
No. This is a good little blooper. Oh, for fuck's sake, why this now? Mate, the worst thing is when you're manual labouring or whatever, and you fucking hurt yourself or you like stub your toe or something. Because I'm not wearing boots. Yeah. I'm wearing like trainers. It's fucking so painful when you do something. You can't show anything. You can't show any pain.
Toxic masculinity.
You can't show any pain.
Right, Chaz.
Yeah. Because the problem is you get. The problem is with manual labour, you get like nicknames, and like for some reason, I've been called Shag. It's either a reference to Scooby-Doo or thing, like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Really?
Or,
that would make sense.
Or I think it was, or it's either because I need to ask him because it's either that or I accidentally called him Top Shagger once, and he's just like kept that the whole time.
Brilliant.
We've all got nice nicknames, haven't we? Miles, Lips and Shag.
Miles, Lips and Shag.
Hello, Shag.
All right, Shag.
But it's so funny though because he does it in front of customers as well.
Really?
Yeah, he's like.
Shag,
grab me that.
You could just mean Shaggy, yeah.
I remember working with someone who always used to talk about like stuff they do with girls, and like I'd always perceive with like someone different. And I just remember him like, being on the shop floor, and he'd be like, "Yeah, mate, I was like eating out of pussy and shit."
What, on the shop floor?
Yeah, and there's just like loud, and there was like a woman behind us.
Oh, mate.
And he got like complaints to the people, and I felt so awkward.
So he was motting her out on the shop floor?
No. He was talking about...
Oh, he was talking about it. He wasn't actually eating her
yeah.
out on the shop floor.
No.
Not on the fish shop.
Mate.
It made me laugh. He was just a fishmonger.
Cool, this cod's nice. What?
But yeah, no, we worked together, and he'd always just be like saying about what he was doing with this girl.
Yeah.
And I'd look to the side, and there'd be like some old woman just walking down. Like, shut up.
Yeah, no, I get that. People that just talk
awkward.
loudly as well.
Yeah, and they don't, especially like when they don't sort of like recognise it's a sensitive subject as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes
my girlfriend wanted to do anal the other day in the church or something.
You gotta love those people. They are ball busters. They're
Trust.
like outbreaks.
I sometimes have that issue though, where like I talk because my mum always says it's like you can't whisper. Your voice is too loud. Like, it's too low.
Thing is that I feel a bit suspect if I whisper.
What do you mean?
It's just too soft, isn't it? It's too...
No, as in like when I try and whisper, I'm just still like loud.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like I don't think if you just do this, it's just.
See, I think
that's why as men we always like. Yeah.
See, my thing is I'm so ingrained to fake laughing. I fake laugh at everyone. I use that in like the subject. So like, say for example, when someone says like you said like something completely inappropriate, or like on the shop floor or whatever, I just like fake laugh, but I hate it so much. It's like you notice me do it all the time. I go. It's like the worst thing ever, and I'm doing it now.
What do you say something as well? Sometimes you're like, oh yeah, right, yeah, because you're like thinking about something else. When we're talking to you, and you're like, oh nice, yeah.
Yeah, mate, I'm doing it right now, and it's so annoying. Do you ever have that with when you're like notice something about yourself, like you're so blatantly
well, I say
you know, like you've got to work on it.
Yeah,
I have.
I did. Yeah, I'll do. Oh fuck!
It's so hard to beat it, isn't it?
I have one where if I've got a point that I want to say, because for some reason I always lose my points. So like if I've got a point and I want to say it, then I'll just like have it in my head, and then like as someone's talking, I'm just constantly like yeah.
You got to keep it in your head. You're not taking in what they're saying, and then they ask you a question about what they're saying.
Yeah.
Do you know the one that I need to get rid of though is because it sounds so disingenuous, but like it's annoying because I even do it to people I care about as well. Like I'll actually be really interested in it, and I go and they think I'm just a prick.
That's when you're actually interested. You come out with a thing you're not thinking about.
Yeah,
if that
and
makes
that's
sense.
why because I use it for both. Like,
that's your like default response.
I had it in work the other day. I can't remember what it was, but that same thing happened, and I said. I promise I wasn't being sarcastic. I just sounded so sarcastic. I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah, sorry about that.
We do it on box sometimes. If you're saying something deep, we'll be like, yeah, maybe.
You did one once that was so like sarcastic, and we just cracked up because you didn't.
Yeah, we wasn't meant to be.
But I said something. It was like something quite deep, and you was like,
Oh, that's bad.
That's mad.
So me?
Like,
No, I did it, yeah.
Like, oh, that's mad.
I can't believe that.
So sarcastic. It's like, okay, good.
Oh, wow. Thanks for being interested in my life-changing moment.
Okay, I'll just fucking kill myself, Sella.
It's going to be one of them ones where you can be on box once when you genuinely need their help. You're
Yeah, no, I know.
I'm about to jump off a bridge, mate. Yeah.
Sorry, there's someone shooting at me.
Yeah.
1 sec, say again.
I'm shocking on Xbox. Like, I can't, as we all know, men can't multitask. On Warzone, that is the worst thing. Like, we'll be playing COD, like trying to tell each other something.
Yeah.
And it'll be a 2-minute story that ends up taking 5 minutes because I'm constantly wait 2 seconds, let me just shoot this guy.
Yeah, and then you forget what you're talking about.
So basically, it takes forever to get through it.
Yeah, or the amount of times you go over the same bit again.
Yeah,
You're right.
Not really.
it's lights falling.
Yeah. What are you saying?
Do you So this is one I had at work the other day because I think I've got comprehension issues because
You think?
yeah. So I've only been made aware of it recently. But,
Explain what you mean by comprehension issues.
So the way I can describe it is if Chaz is over there, me and you are
Right.
both sitting here,
Right.
and we should you'll be saying something, and both of us should be able to hear it. But if you're, let's say there's like noises outside or whatever, you might be saying something, and I cannot make out a thing you're saying, but
Yeah.
you'll just hear it fine. And I
really?
keep
Right.
noticing it happening. So someone will be saying something, and I cannot make out a word they're saying.
Yeah.
But then the person I'm next to is just like, oh yeah, and just having a full conversation.
Well,
Right,
if
so you're
I
sort
get,
of like
I get
blocking
that.
people out, and you sort of if you're in conversation with someone, you don't.
No, I just think it's some sort of issue I have. Like I just
Right.
It does sound like an
unless
No, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
but-
something that would be an issue. Like,
unless
I don't know.
so unless we're this close to each other and or if someone mumbles, for example, and they're further away,
Yes.
I really struggle. And I've noticed it more at the pub. Like someone will say something and they'll mumble it, and I'm like, sorry. And then you say it 3 times, and when you get to the third, you're like, I'm so sorry. What did you say?
Yeah, you got to come out.
Do you know,
with,
when I do that though, I always have to say to myself or speak out loud to myself like the words properly, but in a proper English accent. So
Actually,
Charles!
I can give an example of that. Some guy was at on the table, and I didn't know he said it, but he was just he said, "Oh, can I get the bill, please, mate?" And he said it quite fast, and there was a bit of noise from the TV or whatever.
right.
And I didn't actually hear what he said, but one of my colleagues was next to me, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, 2 seconds, I'll just go and get it." So he heard it easily, and I didn't. And I spoke to someone at work, and I was saying the same thing to them, and they were like, "Well, what do you look at when you're talking to someone? Do you look at on their face?" And I was like, "I'll just look at their eyes."
Yeah.
And then actually, that's a good thing to ask you too. What do you look at when someone's talking to you?
For me personally, I had to really work on it because my
eye contact.
Because I used to, because the famous line, whatever, was if you have anxiety, look at their lips or their nose, you don't actually looking at their eyes.
There you go.
But I've learned now, I actually like looking into people's eyes because it makes a better connection with
Turns me
them.
on.
Because I'm not being funny, but with not only with girls, but with just people in general, they tend to like you more when you look them in the eyes and being direct with them.
That's-
I've noticed a lot of
I had
customers.
that.
and stuff.
I had that before.
This is the point I'm... Go on.
When I was growing up and I was a bit shy, I would always notice I wasn't listening to what they were saying. I was concentrating on what I was looking like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had that.
Am I looking in the right places? Am I acting weird?
Sure.
That sort of thing. Whereas now, once you find out about the eye contact thing,
Yeah.
I look into their eyes, and every now and again, you just break eye contact
Break
like
eye
that. Just look at
contact.
someone else. If you're thinking, for example, if you're saying a sentence, look into their eyes, and they'd be like, and then that sort of thing.
And then they get burnt by the smouldering good look
Yeah.
of the.
The eye contact.
Well, the girl,
what's it called?
the girl I was
Bloom.
speaking to about this, she said, what do you look at? And I was just their eyes. And she said, do you ever look at anything else? I was like, well, not really. Sometimes I'm not that good with eye contact. I just feel awkward. So it'll be the eyes, or I'm just kind of looking around all over the place. But she said, I'll most of the time.
sorry. Imagine you're talking to someone, they're just like, oh yeah.
Well, I do the thing where I'm talking to someone, and I'm kind of looking into space and then saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she said, oh yeah, I look at like most of the time you look at people's mouths. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah, that's like quite normal. And then she asked someone else, and they were like, oh yeah, look at their mouth. So apparently that's the thing, because like they can like hear it.
Yeah,
better.
it must be
But then I said,
like you lip read almost subconsciously.
But this is why I think I've got an issue, because I said I can't lip read. So like when someone's like saying something from over there, I just say, I'm really sorry, I can't understand what you're saying. Whereas again, someone else next to me would understand it.
Well, I heard if you're on a date or something and you're sitting across the table from your girl that you're on a date with, if you look into their eyes and then look at their lips and then back to their eyes, look at the lips.
I told you that.
Back to their eyes, did you?
Yeah, they think about sex.
Yeah,
subconsciously.
yeah.
I think as well, it's a numbers game, isn't it? Like, let's be realistic. Like, it's not. You can do that to as many girls as you like, but if you're, it's not going to work for everyone. Do you know? What I mean?
Oh no, it's not. It's just
it's not a blatant thing where if you look at their lips, they're like, oh my god.
No, it's one of those things. If you notice it, you know you're a bit more in than you would be.
Apparently, it's like a very subconscious thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'd just say, like, FYI, any sort of guys who are lacking self-confidence right now, do not go up to an incredibly attractive woman right now and propose your eye contact.
Yeah. Well, you won't be able to anyway. Because fucking shut.
Because I can assure you it will end in a, what are they called? We go to the police. Restraining order.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, eye contact. I think it's different. Like sometimes I do feel well awkward with it.
I think it depends on how attractive the person you're talking to is. If it's a girl, and how sounds a bit weird, but how like domineering the bloke is.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If it's like a massive bloke.
I've noticed sometimes I don't like it if I'm like say I'm on a date, for example, and I'm trying to like make a good impression or whatever.
Yeah.
Find that I'm talking to them and look in their eyes, and when they're listening to you, obviously it's like just the same expression, isn't it? Yeah. Sometimes I find I struggle with that. Really? That's when I have to look away. So if I look at them and they're like, I'm looking in their eyes and they're like just that same expression. I don't know. It just that's when I have to break eye contact and start like doing the thing where you look into space.
See, that's the main thing for me. Is like
that's when you got to think about
is when you're telling story. Well, like when people are telling stories, that's when I look into their eyes, because that's when like you can sort of like get a better understanding of what they're saying as well. And like I always notice like you can like understand it better if that I guess one if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's another one is if you're addressing a group, you got to go
hi guys, how we doing?
No, if you're telling a story at the pub,
3 shots for £5.
Telling a story at the pub or something, like round a big table, or
I have to think about that. Because sometimes I'll be like one person, and then I'll realise, and I'll start doing that like well fast.
It's almost like a threesome. Someone's going to feel left out, aren't they?
Yeah. Guy wanking in the corner.
What about me?
And many people crying.
Sorry,
the other corners.
Yeah, no. It's the thing I struggle with as well is
crippling.
If you're talking to someone but there's lots of background noise. So I don't know, fans from something, or music in the background, or just a load of people talking around you, and you're talking to someone dead on. I cannot make out a word they're saying, like at all. They'll be talking to me normally, and I'll be like,
sorry.
I'll try and make it so they think I know what they're talking about. But mate, half the time I have no idea.
That's what I had a date once where it's quite a good date. Sorry?
Fucking hell.
It's a rare occurrence, but it does happen now and again.
Oh, where were you, bro?
And we're in a bar, and I think we got there at like 8ish. The first 2 hours it was fine. And then like around 10, the music started to get louder. And then I just found, like, without thinking about it, we were just shouting at each other basically.
Sorry, do you want to come back to mine? What? Do you want to fuck? Someone next to you's like, what?
What?
Do you fuck? That's a sketch.
Oh dear. That is a sketch, yeah. I'll write that down.
Dear darling, day 3 on set.
How did we get onto that? We get onto these subjects well round.
That all started from Charlie doing weird stuff around his chair.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happens from me doing weird things.
Yeah, that's true.
Mainly, I don't know what I usually do, to be honest. Most of it's a blur.
Just about everything you do is a bit weird.
Yeah.
This is the first podcast we've done in a while, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's another thing. We've got to warn people. If we're locked down again, then sorry. Like, there's no more podcasts for a while. Till March.
The 50-odd people that are watching.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we could probably do it.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
We did our virtual one like we did last time. And then we lost
Yeah.
the footage.
Or-
We did like the best one we'd ever done. We lost the footage.
Yeah, I know.
That's so annoying.
So shit. And then we did one the next day and it just wasn't the same.
No, it was just completely dead. Completely dead.
Do you know how difficult, like, just for the 3-4 people that do watch this consistently, do you know how difficult it
It's
actually
actually
is?
8.
Do you know how difficult it actually is getting all of us together to fucking sit
this
here
is-
for an hour or
Oh,
something?
well, this is the thing. We all work.
Shifts.
Yeah.
So that's
But
why
this
it's
is
inconsistent.
this is the thing though. Is so, like the consistency is so key because like I've grown so many social media pages. Like, but to be fair, not as many YouTube channels or whatever.
Plug.
But like it is like
at Fat Me.
no. But it is like sort of the consistency is the key. Unfortunately, like
Yeah.
same
Yeah,
with
yeah,
anything,
yeah.
and like unless we're like doing it every single day, it's gonna be like
Yeah.
hard. But
That's why
I
we're
believe in
slowly
this.
getting there.
Well, I'm down for Zoom podcasts if we do get locked down.
definitely,
Or
it's just
If we don't get full lockdown but we can't work, then we've got a load more free time.
It's finding
yeah.
the days, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Like,
Personally, though, with the Zoom things, they're good. Like, even the best podcasters out there, whatever, like, it's so difficult to listen to over Zoom because it's like
Yeah,
over
yeah.
internet and it's not the same quality.
yeah.
Well, it's
It's not like easy to listen to. Is
No.
It?
the Pro Directs with Chunks, Philly, and whoever else they're interviewing or talking to, they're actually quite good. We have to message Pro Direct head of social media or something.
Yeah, maybe. But then again, I don't know. I just feel like this whole thing anyway has just made people realise that anyone can really do the job. Well, not
Yeah.
anyone, but like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? All these people on Sky Sports or whatever are doing it over Zoom, and it's just how many other people could do that?
Yeah.
How many other people could do that? And obviously, you can say about the analysis kind of things, but the presenters, do you know what I mean? This is the time to start making stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
More than anywhere right now is
Yeah.
doing it right now.
Everyone's on the internet, aren't they?
We're slowly getting there. I'm basically once I've got all my like camera kit, then it will be better because I can like start cutting down my hours and then.
Yeah. What I'm saying in now, I'm not being funny, but I genuinely feel like there is something here. Like, I genuinely feel like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Like,
do
I know for a fact, like, if the three of us were to work on like sketches or anything, for example, I know that it would bang, especially if we did it in a way that like is gonna be consistent and like we're both everyone's enjoying it at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, because that's the main thing is like how what a crazy concept that like this could actually like make money,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
not. It's not even the fact that it's about money, or just make this into something that you can do full time without having to
Yeah.
worry about anything else, or like not necessarily not have to worry about anything else, but like doing something that you enjoy and doing something like.
This is more fun than anything.
Like, how
really.
crazy is it? Even the concept of like doing something from your home creatively that you can
Yeah.
make money from.
I think the difference with us though, like I think we've all got a vision of where it could be, and we like know how we can do it. Like when we talk about the sketches and stuff, like as soon as you mention like a sketch idea, in my head I instantly think of like shot types, lighting, like
Yeah.
camera,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
film stuff. So, but yeah, this.
See, I think more the acting side of that.
Yeah, no, that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But like I'm like film brain, so that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
first thing I think about.
Definitely. I think
The acting thing, oh mate, if we can nail the acting thing, it's so fucking funny.
this is the thing though. Anyone can act, and it's just whether like you're willing
It's
to
a
become
confidence
good.
thing, mate.
It's whether you're willing to be confident on screen, and two, whether you're
Yeah.
willing to like sort of just learn. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
Same
if it's
with
just us
anything.
three, we're all
Well,
comfortable with
I've
each
said
other
it-
anyway.
I've said it
being
to you-
yourself as well.
I've said it to you before how at uni, like we need to act and stuff, and because we're like all trying to like make something, no one laughs at you or anything. Like you can just be free with it,
Yeah,
basically,
exactly.
and it makes you more confident and it lets you like relax.
Do you know the thing I'm looking forward to more than anything is I've spent so long posting other people's content. Like, for example, I calculated last year I posted 100,000 individual pieces of content. None of it was really my own, right? So it is crazy.
The
that
woke
I-
15-year-old can get to for
No,
that one.
do you know what I mean?
You're not original.
But it's, do you know what I mean? I want to make stuff of my own. Like, I'm tired of having to like live up to like people thinking like or trying to be funny for other people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
video content's so much interesting content.
It's so much more interesting when you're posting stuff that you and your friends find funny.
Yeah.
And just put it out there, and then if anybody else finds it funny,
Thing
that's
is,
cool.
The thing is, laughter's contagious. So most of the time, if you're finding it funny, other people will laugh anyway.
Exactly. And you look at like, say for us, for example, we're starting right from the bottom, but like it's just good. It feels good putting out something that like you've 3 people have like tried something out.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily that it has to be successful or anything, but it's just the attempt of just like trying to put something out there.
But we're doing it the best way you should do it, which is just natural, having conversation. I think like so many podcasts just thoughts, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you end up getting really shit.
That's what blows my mind though. For example, you see podcasts like on the BBC or whatever.
Yeah, so it has to have a topic.
Yeah, like the Peter Crouch podcast or anything like that. It's broken up by like individual segments, which is cool. Which I like the idea of like podcasts can be anything. But I don't know, it just kind of takes the shine off it when it's been plugged by BBC in between.
Yeah,
or like anything like that. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It feels like it doesn't feel genuine.
Whereas if you were to go for like person who's like just doing a podcast from their home, but they're still like fairly big or whatever, they're doing just sort of like random advertisements.
Yeah,
that are actually targeted towards their audience.
Well, I think when we started this, our thought was like we have so many weird, stupid conversations. Might as well just film them.
How long has this been
And
in
it's
the
just
works
funny.
now?
So it was like 2 Aprils ago.
I
remember
remember-
specifically.
Yeah, because we were in the pub, weren't we?
Because I came back from uni
Yeah.
and we were in the pub and then we all had a few drinks and then someone said about a podcast and then you were just like, I'm so glad you said that because I've been thinking about it as well. And then we were like, just let's actually do it.
Yeah. Well, it was a difficult thing. Well, not difficult, but like that was the thing for me because I was doing like the whole social media thing, but like I didn't know I wanted to do something like because I did YouTube before, but I wanted to do something again, but I didn't know what. And like I just, funnily enough, it was like the same time, like 2 years before, I really started getting into podcasts and stuff like that. And now it's like the only thing I watch, and it's like, do you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing with like our generation and younger. Most people, if they're watching TV, they're on Netflix or an iPlayer of some sort.
Yeah.
Or it's basically the internet. They don't ever watch live TV unless it's live sports. Really, as far as I know, anyway, it's mainly like you'll watch a docuseries on Netflix or something along those lines. Do you know what I'm saying? So everything's more online than live TV, 100%. That's why Amazon Prime and whatnot is so big.
That's what I mean, though. Like it's because like 10 or 15 years ago, or even when YouTube first started, like you don't have to do it the original way anymore. Yeah, you can. You can literally do it your own way. Like however you want to do it, you can get there, which is really exciting, I think. And I think that's what gives me motivation more than anything, because I think the thing I've really struggled with, especially on the internet, is like the struggle of like comparing yourself to other people. And like, say for example, the thing that always gives me anxiety is that I always feel like on the internet you see so many successful young people. You see like a fucking 15-year-old who's a multi-millionaire. It's not even about the money, but just
I
like
sold sweets at school. Now I've got 50 million in the bank.
Like I've got a big penis. Like shut the fuck up. Those kind of topics.
Yesterday it was tiny, but with this one simple pill, I'm now 18 inches long.
Do you struggle with ejaculation?
No, I'm not.
Want to fuck Marge with Bart?
Yeah. Fucking hell. No, I know what you mean though. It's like, but that's a good thing. I think that's why I quite like. I'm glad that I don't really watch YouTubers or anything, because then it's just in my head. It's just like I want to do what I want to do. I don't even compare myself to anyone else really.
No, and that's the thing, is what I keep on forgetting as well a lot of the time, is when you're on the internet, is you forget how big the world actually is. Because for me, I always like trick myself into thinking, oh, there's not a market for this, or there's not or there's not enough people who'd want to watch it. But then you realise in the grand scheme of things, like when the place that gives me the best sort of like feeling of like perspective is when I go to an airport, because I realise there's so many people flying all over the place that I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, why am I worrying about this?
This is the thing. We were literally saying before we started recording this one, we were just eating a bit of Chinese in the dining room. We were like, oh, well, you said, oh yeah, so and so keeps coming up and saying like, "Oh, you keep coming up on YouTube and Instagram and stuff."
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
So it's like it's gonna come up eventually.
Exactly, and that's we're doing like no effort as well. It's just like I've had
That's
multiple
with
people,
being inconsistent.
I think
multiple people coming up to me just like, oh, I saw you like podcasts. It's actually like it's quite good, and that's like without me like because I don't ask, I don't really put it out.
No,
Neither.
we don't.
It's
We
just
don't
people
really
saying it.
promote it either. Like we've just got the Phat Podcast Instagram, and obviously Phat Memo and whatnot.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's
And I don't really use social
even
media,
people
like-
I never really talk to, but you follow like people on social media, but you're not like don't know them, whatever.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
They DM me and say like, oh, it's actually a pretty good podcast
It's good,
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? That's the kind of tiny little motivations you need because like it's going to be so exciting when we genuinely actually have a community that we can actually like interact with and
The
stuff like
fatties.
that.
This is the thing, like this is why I'm starting. Like when I can get my camera, that's like getting the ball rolling. So I was saying to James the other day, I felt so impatient the last few months. Like I've had a list of things that I need to get for like film stuff for 2 years.
Yeah.
So for 2 years I've been waiting to do it. Then and like obviously so I couldn't get a job or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I got one, and then I was like paying off Dad for a holiday. Then lockdown happened, so then I had to save,
And you didn't get the holiday.
and I didn't get the holiday. so now,
Well, peak world.
yeah. So now I'm actually like at a point where I'm about to get it. So it's just like, just need to be so patient.
Yeah.
But it's like we talk about it all the time. We know exactly what we're trying to do. It's just once
100%.
we can get to that situation, once I've got all the kit and stuff, we can just go 100%
Because-
with it.
Like let's be realistic. There is an endless supply of creativity here. Like honestly, like like literally, I have so many ideas written down. It's unbelievable. Like, and this is what I mean. Once we do actually get going, and this is why it's good we're talking about this now because this gives us like a sort of we can't fuck it up now. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
because put it on
Like,
the-
Yeah, because people are gonna
people are gonna look
know
at this.
about it.
Like, so even though it doesn't matter how long it takes, but like we will get there. Like.
Just stay tuned.
You know what?
Hopefully in like 5 to 10 years, we can just like watch back this and just be like,
Mate, well, here's my little modest brain going. It's like, well, this would be good for a tweet. Oh, 5 years ago, we tweeted this. Like, do you know what I mean? Just one of those standard things, like one of those bullshit YouTubers would put
It's
out.
the ones where it's just like, oh my God, I'm just so proud of my progression.
Yeah.
Or is it like
Like
self-congratulating?
when I was 13, YouTube was my dream job.
Now-
Fast
now
forward
I've-
5 years. Look at me. I've got 1 million
I've
subscribers.
got a Lamborghini, a big house, and an amazing girlfriend.
But I also have an addiction to opioids, which I don't talk
behind
about.
the scenes, we're all struggling.
Yeah. That's what we need to do. Don't need to mention like numbers.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I find.
Do you know what we
annoying.
need to do? Is just fucking be ourselves, mate.
Hey, sure, man.
Saucy sex.
Well, oh, so free Tommy Robinson. That's
Yeah, that's it.
So what I said earlier though, the fact that we just the way we did this was let's just have conversations about the normal stuff we talk about.
Yeah, this could be
and
us at the
compare-
pub right now, to be
Yeah,
honest.
and compared to some of the podcasts I've seen, like our conversations are a lot better.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just because we're chatting like absolute bollocks, but
yeah.
well,
it's more fun to watch than like scripted.
100%. I think that's where also the best conversations come from, isn't it? It's just
Yeah.
like when you sort of got 3 young men just sort of sitting here
Chatting shit.
drinking beer.
Yeah.
And the things you can't say out loud, just get
Like
edited out.
cunt.
yeah.
It's amazing.
I can't wait until like 3 years when
We're
the woke
26.
15-year-olds come back.
Well, they'll be legal then.
Oh my God!
So maybe their opinions may have changed.
Hashtag cancel Charlie Payne.
Well, they're legal 18.
Yeah, they're not legal now when you're saying it.
No, I'm sorry for future reference. That's what I'm saying.
We joke, but
do you know
that's
what's
the kind,
weird?
that is the kind of thing where you just have that fucking hashtag.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I mean, for context, for any future sort
not
of
gonna have
media
this-
outlets,
yeah.
that gammon line
you know-
is.
do you know-
We're not going to have
it's
the
a
social.
joke.
We're not going to have the social media conversation again. I'll talk.
No, yeah, you got. Anyway, what were you saying? What
I
were you
ran
saying?
about it too much.
What were you
right?
saying?
Do you know what
No, I
really,
don't talk about
really
it.
scares me? Is you say, in 3 years or so, I'll be turning just about 27. Which is like 23 is young. Like we're still young men. 27 is still young. But 27 is
26.
just that much older.
It's
do
what
you
you're
know
saying
I mean?
about the
Like-
internet, though. It gives you a full sense of achievement of where you should be.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's so
And you
crazy.
forget normal, like normal people. A lot of people get to like mid-30s and they still haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing.
No.
Yeah.
And that's like normal.
How much do you guys worry about like
I'd
the
be
big
lying.
3-0?
I'd be lying if I said I didn't.
same? I think there's
'cause I
so
always-
much of a stigma on 30.
Do you know what?
Because you always hear the thing about people say, look, don't worry about like getting yourself together before you're 30. You know, you still got plenty of time.
Yeah.
But people can say that as much as they want. In my head, I'm still like,
Well,
I
the
wanna
thing
make
is,
sure
the
I'm
thing
on
is about
course
our
before
age
30.
now is there's so many variables. Some people are at home with their parents still, us.
Yeah.
Some people have moved out for years. Some people
Yeah.
got kids. Some people are married. Some people haven't got a job. It's so weird. But the thing is, like, you get so much conflicting advice as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
People say stay at home as long as you can, save up that much money. But then you stay at home and someone's like, have you not moved out yet?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
See,
I
that's,
mean, the one thing I would say is I don't want to get to 30 and still live with my parents.
Oh, no,
and I
obviously
think
not, but-
that's a fair one.
At the same time, there's no shame in being 30 living
Yeah.
with your parents, especially in a climate like we have now.
the
Yeah,
anxiety that
that's a
gives
good
me
point.
though is 30 is, for example, because I want to be successful so badly.
Yeah.
Like, I always constantly compare sort of like my heroes to like Wikipedia page, for example. Not even that, because like you just see like the success they've had sit up to their 30 years old, and they're only 30 years
Do you
old.
know
It's
Rick-
like,
Rick- one-
Ricky Gervais.
Comedians
Comedians are the best because comedians
They're
a lot
late
of them,
bloomers.
They,
Yeah,
they
they're
don't.
late
Yeah, they
bloomers.
don't get.
But
big
then,
till
but then
like
you
their
see,
30s,
I
40s.
don't know, I always think Chipmunk's a good example. Like,
Yeah, mate.
he's not
He's
30
not
yet.
even
He's been around
Yeah.
for
He's
Not
fucking
even
ages,
30, and he's
mate.
been around.
And he's been on the
like-
radio, like number one. Was he number one? I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, he's been doing
He's been
stuff for
around a long
Americans.
He's been around. Like I remember being like 12 years old and just
Yeah,
banging
yeah.
out Chipmunk.
yeah,
And he's still not even 30, and he's still doing it.
mate. It's
So
just,
at our age, he was doing stuff for Chris Brown. Like,
no.
here we are.
But that's
the problem.
Meek
You
Mill.
compare yourself with like these anomalies
Yeah,
But is that-
anomalies, exactly. They're anomalies.
that's what is good though.
because social media, like,
Even when you
they're anomalies. Like, it's so rare that that happens, but because social media projects it to your face,
even what you said about
that's what you compare yourself to.
like the YouTube millionaires who are like
Yeah.
20 years old. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, it might look like
Exactly.
there's loads of them, but they're
But you
still
don't think
anomalies
about
as well.
The thing is as well that you don't. The main aspect you always need to remember is the fact that of like longevity success, because like it's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, as AC/DC said. Do you know what I mean? It is like you've got to. It's a long time. If you want long term success, it takes a long time to get it. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
short term success where it's like 1, 2, 5 years. If you want to build a career,
Exactly.
do you know what I mean? It's a slow process, which I've been struggling because I've wanted to be a successful YouTuber since I was about 16.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, like, I don't know, it's not frustration.
But I still
But
think,
it's just, yeah,
I
I
still
don't
think
know.
with us, we like. I'd say what we want to do and our goals are much bigger than YouTube.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't
I
want
mean,
to
that
be
Amazon
known.
Prime deal.
Yeah, I don't really like YouTubes generally. I
Or
don't want
any
to be.
other subscription service.
Anyone.
I don't want to be
anyone.
thrown into like that.
To be honest, we'll even take BritBox if
Do you know?
that's
Do you know what? We'll even pay for it. Just
But you know that whole.
going. Sorry, no, we won't. I have no
you
funds.
think about. I was thinking about this the other day. The when people were doing boxing and rapping and all that shit. It's like
still
they get thrown into, they get stuck in that box of being a YouTuber and then
Yeah.
they can't get out of it.
I suppose good
Someone
though.
like
a lot of them are breaking
someone
out
like
of
Jay
that
from
now.
TGF is never going to be respected as a rapper because he's just so ingrained.
I
as
think
a
he
personality
can
on
though.
YouTube.
He could do if he sort of became good, if you know what I mean, good at rapping. If he became,
maybe.
if he said, "Look, I'm going to do this full time,time," you're naturally
But
obviously
you
going to
think
get
thing
better.
is,
his fan
he's
base
always
will
gonna
always
have-
come from YouTube?
yeah.
They
That's-
will.
that's the
But you
thing.
said, there's an example of that. Is do you remember Mazzy Max back in the day?
Oh, I remember that name. Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
heard of that. To be fair,
He was like a dancer, like the mixed race guy.
Oh,
He's got the dreadlocks.
yeah,
He's a really successful rapper now. He does
Is he?
like a
See,
sort of
that's-
like screamo emo rap. But
Screamo
no,
emo.
like emo.
But
it's-
that's the thing.
It's
If you
similar
can,
to like
if you can break away from it, that's the best
successfully.
thing you
Yeah,
can do.
it's like,
and Joji.
Is this-
I think you have to use.
is he? What was he before?
He's fucking mate. You know, Mr. Pink guy and
Yeah. I think because YouTube
He-
is
there's-
Filthy
such a,
Frank. That's it. Filthy
YouTube
Frank.
is such a particular demographic of people that watch it. You have to you have to know how to use it.
I think
it's like anything. You need to use it as a tool.
I think there's once you have your main thing you're known for. Good example, I think, is Memphis Depay, footballer, but he's a rapper as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's difficult to break away.
Yeah.
However, I think that will end up changing with younger people now that grow up with people like KSI, for example, is another one who is was a FIFA YouTuber. Is now a musician, or
But to be fair, that's always been the case, though.
Well, yeah, no, it has.
Even being an actor, like
people,
David Barrios, for example, like he was an actor before he was even a singer.
But we grew up with KSI when we were like 13, 14, 15. We see him as a FIFA YouTuber that does music sometimes does boxing.
We were watching him when he was.
But to someone who's younger, I know he knows him since he's been driving Lambos and whatnot, as just an all-round entertainer. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I think once you do break off, you will end up getting an audience that do see you as.
I think he's the one
well, if that makes sense.
He's the one. I think he's the example of what you should aspire to do with YouTube.
Yeah,
I don't even look at him as a YouTuber anymore.
No,
he's the only one who's done that successfully, I think. Because
there's been quite a few, isn't there?
But he's put his hand in so many pots.
For us, like
in terms
of us, like think about it. We only saw him as a YouTuber, but he's put his hand in so many pots now that I don't even think of him as a YouTuber anymore.
He's
I don't even
social media presence.
I don't even think about that like YouTubers as that thing anymore because I think it's so like even look at mainstream now. It's so ingrained with social media now. You look at any sort of TV show, like you look at Soccer Aid, for example. That is so ingrained with the social media and the fact that they had the tweets and everything going past and like all that different stuff. So, like being a celebrity in sort of on the social media world or being a YouTuber, I don't think that's even obviously it's a thing, but I don't think it's like mattered as much anymore. Do you know what I mean?
You get people like PewDiePie, who, as far as I'm aware, he's just stayed at YouTube.
He's got like a couple of like YouTube originals, but then
he's still
like a YouTuber. But then again, there a lot of people don't go out of that because they don't want to. But those people who do.
See, I think that's
managed to do it quite successfully.
A lot of those type of people, they get into YouTube for YouTube, whereas I think we're looking at it as like we can use it as our tool.
Yeah.
I think it's more than anything,
or another avenue, if that makes sense. Yeah, but I don't look at YouTube and think, okay, that's our prime thing.
No, well, I think for example, you've got to take every day as it comes, obviously. But I think.
Do you want another beer?
Yeah,
No,
well, I think it's one of those things where you just sort of have to.
I want a Coke if there's one.
Yeah. What are we talking about? Mate, I heard beer and I just sort of switched off.
Fuck.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
But that's the thing with life,
isn't it?
You can say.
You get right back on that horse. A Spider-Man, a Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. It spins away. What? What is wrong with you?
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Andrew.
I'll tell you what, there's absolutely nothing better coming home, drinking a beer and hitting the wife.
Oh, mate. I need to have a rant about someone at work today. So, someone came in.
Sit back down.
Bottle cap.
Obviously, the new COVID restrictions coming today.
The new what? COVID. Whatnot.
And you always get people who just don't like to be told what to do.
For fuck's sake. What are you trying to do?
There's a bottle cap that fell on the floor. I'm trying to grab it. Where'd it go? Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got someone in today, and you always get people who just get like so arrogant, and they just don't want to be
Nothing
told what
like
to
a
do.
nice sip of Coca-Cola.
So he comes in.
Sorry, the autism level in this room is off the fucking scale.
He comes in. He's walks like two of them walk in, and and we say to him, "Oh, you got to wear a mask," and he's just like, "Oh, really?" And we're like, "Well, yeah, that's the rules now. You have to wear a mask by law." He's like, "Oh, well, I'm only going to sit down here, so once I'm sat down, it's fine." And we're like, "Yes, but you have to wear a mask when you're not sitting down." He's like, yeah, but I'm only sitting down there. I was like, yes, but the rule is you are not allowed in the pub unless you have a mask on.
Sir, we're asking you to leave.
Yeah, it's so annoying. And then they sat down, and then to top it all off, he asked for a pint of Foster's. Like, who drinks Foster's?
Mate,
I drink
Mate.
Foster's.
And it wasn't even on tap as well.
some people came into my work the other day as well, and they're like, "What laws you got? You got Foster's." Who wants Foster's? Mate,
Nah, to be fair, if there's other choices, but to be fair, if it's between Beck's and Foster's, I'm going Foster's all day.
Beck's.
Oh, they're both shit.
No,
That's
well,
what
I'll
I
tell
mean.
you what, my
Beck's is absolutely atrocious.
Beck's, I don't know if it's because I'm fucking sick or what, but my Beck's is actually really nice.
It's probably because it's draft.
Well, yeah, it is, but
There you go then.
We had someone in the other day, proper stereotype wife beater, went up to one of the girls, like didn't even ask for a table, didn't ask what drinks we had, came straight in. Right, love, you got any Stellas? It's like the first thing he says. Like,
problem is, like, I wouldn't dream of hitting anyone apart from my wife, but Stella is really nice.
See, once I've drunk a Stella, I usually go on a rampage and I want to hit absolutely.
No, well, apparently it's because
female
it's,
and
there is actually something in it that makes you when you get drunk. If you get drunk on Stella, apparently there's something that actually does make you violent.
So it's sort of like testosterone.
That's what I've heard. I don't know.
Is it like taurine or something? Like it testosteronates the testes. Testosteronates the testicles. You know, brings up a few chemicals up in the body, and it makes you want to.
Testosteronates the testes.
It does like a sort of a Popeye effect, where it sort of like makes you a bit bigger, and then immediately says in your brain, "Fucking kill her." Or push her down
I'm
the
changing the
stairs.
subject because
we're getting into dodgy territory.
Very dodgy,
here,
yeah.
But either way,
I
don't hit your wife.
I don't believe there's something in Stella that
no,
makes
we're
people
just playing up to the Stella stereotype. That's all. None of us believe in any of that.
Well,
Although I do like Stella Artois. If you're having a pint, Stella is very nice.
no,
I think.
Yes, it's an awful substance that no one should ever try.
Yeah, I don't
It's-
think Stella's that bad.
No, it's quite nice.
It's all right, isn't
It
it?
is. It is actually all right.
But it's just the
And
Especially the effects.
Funnily enough, I don't get the urge to hit anyone once I've had a Stella.
The worst thing is there was someone watching this thinking that we're not joking.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
I know.
It's
yeah.
a private joke between each other.
There's a few things you can't joke about. You know, you just can't joke about those kind of things. Sorry, jokes are free. You can say whatever you want. Comedy has no boundaries.
Have another one, Jess.
I don't think you realise.
Have another beer, Charlie.
Put this on Phat Brit, I love it.
I'm actually going to Google the old Stella thing.
Yeah, put in. Do women? No, what is the percentage of
Does
women
Stella
getting?
Artois make you violent?
What? No, what beer makes you the most violent?
Mate, it's actually
It just isn't a
it's
thing.
actually top search. Stella Artois MA. The top search is Stella Artois make you aggressive.
We know it.
In the
Crack
UK, Stella is associated with binge drinking and aggressive behaviour. This is allegedly due to its higher than average ABV, which is alcohol content. It has a violent misogynistic nickname that is trying to desperately shake. So we're never getting some Stella sponsor ever again.
Oh shit! The mic's fallen out.
Where did that come from? I can't wait for that to be clipped.
Wait, tap your mic, Chaz. Chaz, just Chaz. No, you, James. Okay, yeah, still.
Composure. Oh god.
Have either of you got Quora Digest?
Oh, my stomach, huh?
Have either of you got Quora Digest?
No, I know what it is though.
What is it?
I've just clicked and it says, does drinking Stella make you more likely to be violent when drunk? And I've got this answer here, which we'll have to green screen, because that's fucking long.
So what's the general gist of it? Let's give us a general gist.
I'll skim through. The reason
Skim read it. Anyway, Will, what's your opinion?
Started in the 80s in basically, from what I just,
Started in what?
what's the word I'm looking for?
Searched.
Gathered.
Oh, sorry, go on.
It's because it was started brewing in a poor area in the 80s. Therefore, I guess there was more.
Speaking of skim reading, I watched an interesting clip about 4:30 a.m. on Saturday. You know, as you do in a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I was watching World's Fastest Reader, and it questions me because it's either he's bullshitting everyone because he's going through the book like that, mate. He's going and they're doing a full.
He's not even saying anything.
No, they're doing a full news article on him, right? And they've tested him to like read this thick book. It must have been about 1,000 pages, something like that. And they tasked him to read it in about an hour, I think it was. Not even that. And he was going through like. And then he was, and she was next to the woman, and she was like, "Oh, so we'll test you," because obviously he didn't know about the book before, and obviously afterwards they would ask him questions about the book, and the questions he was like answering, they were just so general, and they're like, "Wow, well done, oh my god!"
So
it's like, and then they demonstrated, and he was just like going through that, and he obviously couldn't take it.
Have you seen the guy that has a photographic memory?
A lot of people have that.
No, but it really is like he'll look at something for like 10 seconds or so, and then he can. There was one. It was
David
like
Blaine.
no, it was literally like a huge picture of the New York skyline.
Right.
So imagine how many buildings, cars, whatnot is in that. And then they gave him however long to look at it, and it wasn't long at all. And then they asked him to draw it.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And he gets it bang on, every little detail, just from his memory.
So
Oh
artist,
yes,
yeah.
the painting.
So crazy,
that is crazy.
Because isn't he? He's like autistic, isn't he?
Yeah, I
but
think
it's
so.
like,
But they say autistic people are very, very clever.
They always have that like one thing.
This
that
is
they're
why
like,
we're so...
Yeah, exactly.
But they always have that one thing that they're like unbelievably
Talented at.
talented at. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, I know what you're talking
It's
about.
crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, kind of makes me wish I was autistic. I want to be normal. No.
What's your talent, Charlie?
Seducing women.
Okay, yeah, no, you're never
No,
going to
yeah,
go ever
no.
again. After
Stella. This is the problem with Stella. You lose control.
that. You're drinking Corona.
So I'm just a misogynist. Oh, what's the word?
Misogynistic
Misogynistic
bastard.
pig.
Yeah.
You know when you can like sense how people are watching this?
Yeah.
I can just sense those girls just like fucking.
Why do you assume they're girls?
Well, 3 good-looking young men.
Anyone, but you know what I mean. It's people who love to be fake offended on the internet.
Yeah. Well,
Do you reckon
we know-
anyone's actually been? Okay, yeah, they have because I have. I was going to say like, do you reckon anyone's actually been like properly offended on the internet?
That's like
They
asking,
have,
that's
they
like
have,
asking,
yeah,
that's
they
like
have.
asking
Of
if
course
the
they have, yeah.
Pope's like Catholic.
They have, but it's like you see some stuff. Majority of stuff I see, I'm like, you're not that offended. Next day you wake up, you might give a shit.
Still
This is
stop
the
them
thing,
reporting
this
the
is-
page though, will it?
This is the thing, though.
Yeah,
People,
oh, mate.
people get so
Oh
angry.
mate, that's what.
Actually, this is directed at you. People get so angry at things that will not affect them next day.
Yeah. Speaking of the devil,
Yeah, I know.
this
but-
huge elephant in the room.
Nah, but I have a problem with like
Anger.
Authority.
I have a problem with this country in general.
Authority. Child. Women. Name one.
I have a problem with this country in general. That's a general thing. So it's not like next day I don't care about it.
No,
Some
but it
days
just
I'm more
eats
angry than
away
others.
slowly
Yeah, I know exactly.
until you just burst.
But that's something. I mean, you ranted about it the other day, but
Yeah.
it takes the piss. Someone pretends to be offended about something. They report the page. Next day they wake up. There's no way they give a shit. They probably forgot they'd even done it. And then you're. What?
I just can't wait for you to go off.
And then your business gets ruined because some
Yeah.
child is pissed off because you said
And to be fair though,
something.
granted to Instagram, the content probably isn't great, which I accept. But the thing that perplexes me more than anything is the content itself is the back dimples. It's a picture of a back dimple and how
dimples, I
people
know.
have got
Yeah,
offended
yeah.
by back dimples because it's not
Oh,
even...
your thing that
Yeah,
you got
because
reported
it's not-
for the
It
other
was
day.
such a nothing post.
Because it's not anything sexual. Well, I guess it
It's
is.
sexual connotations around it.
yeah, but it's like
I think it didn't help the caption I put, do you think it's there for grip?
yeah, but it's like
I don't think
it
that
doesn't
helps.
matter. It
doesn't
doesn't
like
matter if
this.
a girl or there's no way you should get offended by that.
Do you know-
It's
no,
not
no,
acceptable for
because
you
it's
to be
not
offended by
because
that.
the
It's
reason
actually not
the reason why
acceptable.
the reason why it's funny is because you know it's not true.
Yeah, exactly. It's comedy.
People get offended by men liking, I don't know, bums or boobs. Yeah, if we've got small arms, it's a big thing, isn't it?
If you're under 6 foot,
Oh
Yeah,
mate, that's a
exactly.
big one, isn't it? That's a big
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. Like, is there so many like men
Zach's
get
all understand
men
that.
get sexualized by women, 100%. But
but I don't
I genuinely
think- I
think,
think
I
as well-
guarantee you there are people that there'll be someone somewhere who's quite insecure and the 6 foot thing really eats away at them.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But if they just
I'm standing up right now, and I'm angry.
it's like Tory Lanes.
Oh god.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It just annoys me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, people just get love to be offended by everything, man. That's the problem. Like,
The people,
I get why you can be offended by things, obviously, but everyone loves to jump on the bandwagon.
Well,
yeah.
do you know the thing that gets me is the people. Is the people who
Real fucking men.
I tell you what, Brexit means Brexit. And if Tommy Robinson isn't Prime Minister in 5 years' time, I don't want to hear any of it. But anyway,
Tommy.
speaking of women,
Mate, this has been the most offensive one we've done. I swear.
it's all good because it's
No,
They're all
you
alright.
don't
We're all
actually-
making good points, aren't we? It's like-
well, okay. Let me speak on the girls' behalf, for example.
I think we're the last generation
Well, not
that
the
can
girl.
actually like have a joke about something while still knowing it's serious. If that makes sense.
I think, to be
'Cause
honest,
when did-
I genuinely can't
when did
see
that
myself
thing about-
laughing, to be honest.
But when did that thing about some stuff you can't joke about,
Yeah.
but generally you can joke about enough stuff, and the understand was always it's a joke.
Okay, let me tell. I personally,
Now it's just like, well, you can't joke about that. So well, what can you fucking joke about?
I personally believe that there is nothing you can't joke about,
Hmm.
but there is definitely a time and a place for a joke potentially.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then again, say for example, I'd love it for if I had a family member die or something, I would love for them to like say, "Oh, how you doing?" whatever, and then crack a joke at me or like say like,
Do you
"Joey,"
know
'cause
what it is?
that's what it is. It's like
It's
like that's how you know people like you.
the
or, like-
majority of people aren't offended by everything they see. However, the people that are offended by everything they see are the loudest.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're the ones that
Exactly
pipe
that.
up, report everything, all that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
And that's the thing. We're not going to go into it again. But
Yeah,
that's
no.
what social media does, isn't it?
Yeah. Amplifies the minority.
The ones that fucking crack me up though are the ones where like sort of the teenagers are holding the grand's hand in the hospital
Oh,
yeah,
mate,
right, yeah.
and going, "I'm
Rest
gonna
in-
miss you."
Rest in peace, Nan. And they're fucking there with like shoes up there, like. Yeah.
Fuck off and eat some what's it, for
shocking,
fuck's
isn't it?
sake.
Fucking hell, that is not a way I want to go out. I do not want to end
No,
up
mate.
shitting myself. Fuck that.
But the worst thing is, you look at it and you're like, "There's no way you haven't done that for it." Like, it's a attention post, isn't it?
Imagine him on his deathbed, right, and his grandson doing a fucking vloggers.
What the fuck are you doing?
What the fuck's this?
I would actually slap it. I'll call a nurse with the like little red thing and say, "Can you please slap my grandson?"
And then you die.
Grandad, can I have a slither of attention I've been craving my whole life from you?
no,
mate.
fucking fuck off, mate.
Social media's so shit. I wish it just. I have days where I'm like, I wish it just didn't exist.
Yet. It's going to make us.
But
Swings around about, isn't it?
Yeah.
now I'm working.
Just focus less on the negative things, that's what
But
I do.
when I'm working full time, it's a lot better being in a real environment where you're with real people, where you're talking about real stuff.
So you can go home and sit on social media.
Politics.
Yeah, but I don't. This is the
No,
thing.
I'm
I
joking,
go
I'm
home and I don't. It's just
Just wank instead.
You get on there for 10 minutes, and within
Warzone
10
wank,
minutes
2Ws.
you've seen something that's pissed you off, or you've seen a comment that's a load of shit. I fucking hate football Twitter. I see that all the time at the moment because of transfer news. That whole ratio thing pisses me off. It's another phrase that they made up to fucking...
Or you get someone commenting underneath your page.
And they're all probably 12. Do you know what I mean?
Ratioed by Jose Mourinho's pinky or something like that. Something stupid.
But it's like what I said to you the other day. In your head, you think they're the same age as you. They're an adult. In reality, it's probably some 12-year-old kid
No,
sitting
the
behind.
thing is, for
an
me,
Abbey.
in my head, I see this stuff all the time. I ignore it. I don't think it affects
See, it
me.
always gets my. It doesn't always get my back up. Some stuff I don't really give a shit about, but there are some stuff that I can't stand. I've stopped looking at anything like racism related. So there was a thing with Hamilton the other
Are
day.
you blocking yourself out?
No,
You're not trying to educate yourself,
Let me finish. You know, Hamilton did the thing the other day. It was like Breonna Taylor.
Yeah.
And he said like the FIA report looking into it. I didn't even bother looking at the comments, and I don't bother on any post like that anymore because I know the top 3 will be some fucking gammonhead moaning about.
Keep politics out of sport.
But it is. It's always someone. And,
Yeah.
and the worst thing about it is they always has shitloads of retweets, shitloads of likes, and it's all moaning about him. And it's always some bullshit like, "Oh, well, you're so privileged. You've got so much money."
Well,
So it doesn't fucking matter, does it?
but he's speaking up and using his platform.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
People that don't
Well,
have
what's
that.
so crazy is, mate,
Which is why I always say there's a big racism problem in this country.
Definitely,
'Cause I think
definitely
that-
been
I think it's a
highlighted
lot-
this
Yeah,
year
exactly.
as well.
I think there's a lot of like secret racists who like agree with that kind of shit and they just don't.
Do you know what
voice
it is?
That's the worst part about it.
When I was talking to I don't know if I can say names, but you know the one I went to see in Spain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I when I was talking to her like on and off, she was like, I don't know if I want to come to England because I've heard it's quite racist.
Yeah, I wouldn't even blame her for that though.
And she was Moroccan, just for reference. But and I was just at this time, like obviously I knew there was racism about, but I was far less educated, let's say, or it was far less prevalent. And she's like, oh, well, my friend's in like the University of Kingston, and he says like it's just so expensive in London, but it's really racist as well. And I was sitting there like. There's so many cultures in London, like it can't be that racist.
yeah.
Like, I know
It's a
there's
melting
racism
pot of
about.
ethnicity. Mate, I hate that.
Yeah,
when,
yeah, yeah.
I hate when white people say that all the time.
I know,
Like,
like,
white-
obviously,
white
like,
politicians, it's a melting pot.
I'll admit,
Yeah.
I'll admit myself, like I live a sheltered life in Sussex.
Sussex
I don't
spider.
think we're that sheltered
not-
here,
no,
though.
no,
we're not
we've,
sheltered.
We've always grown up with different ethnicities.
Yeah, no, we have,
No, yeah.
but at the same time, we've not experienced like
But
full on racism.
But I don't.
really,
I
We've
don't
not
think
really
as well. We
grown.
haven't as well been fully ingratiated into that kind of culture. You look,
Yeah,
for example,
because we are white.
Well, yeah. Well, you look, for example, if we grew up in Birmingham, it'd be a completely different
Yeah.
story, wouldn't it? We'd because there'd be more of like different cultures around us all the time.
But
you
it's-
know what I
it's-
mean?
it's
Whereas we
now-
don't
now
have.
the
We have a
thing
lot, a
for
little
me
bit, but not.
with the
Now
whole
I'm-
racism thing.
I'm far more like educated. Now I'm sort of like, yeah, no, I wouldn't. Don't blame me at all.
So see, with the
Yeah.
racism thing, I had that same thing where you kind of assume people aren't racist because they're not overtly racist.
Yeah.
But I think it was like 2-3 years ago I really started to like clock on stuff, and I realised it's like every other person I hear is some like flippant.
Yeah.
Casual racism. It's casual racism that's the worst.
That's the
and
worst
you hear
one.
it
Yeah.
constant. If you actually clock onto it, you hear it all the time.
Oh,
And it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
not just here. You'll get that
It's-
all over the country.
Let's go get Chinese's. Do you want a chinky?
Yeah.
That's technically racist.
Well, the
Yeah.
one I'm not going to say it, but the one that I've heard growing up, which I hated, is the P shop. P-I.
Oh,
yeah.
And
That's the worst one.
That's the one that pissed
That's
me
why.
off.
Well, it's
because
one of the bad
I remember
ones.
someone mentioning it somewhere. I can't remember where it was, and someone said, "Oh, it's just
It's
British
just
culture,
so
it's banter."
casually, isn't it?
But I've always, that's always pissed me off, even when I was younger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it can't just be a
No.
like banter in that kind of sense.
I honestly believe to be fair, like one of my first cultural influences was there used to be a corner shop down the corner here. I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember where I
Yeah,
live.
I remember. Yeah.
Right, and there used to be an Indian guy who used to live in there, And I used to go in there pretty much every day to sort of like get some bread or milk or whatever. And like, I would just ride my bike in there. And like, there's so many times where, cause he lived out the back as well. And there was a conker tree in his house. Because also, when I was a kid, like, I used to like try and get the best conkers from the conker tree. So when you go to school, you sort of knock conkers, whatever.
Knock someone out.
And because like I went in every day and I sort of like got a really like friendly relationship with him or whatever. You know, like, let me in the back of his house, like let me grab all the conkers, like. And there was another time when like I was running my bike past and some guy opened his door and I went flat into it.
I think I remember you saying about that.
And I went over the door.
Yeah.
And I fucking almost killed myself, mate. And
that rings a bell to me.
And
How long ago was that?
I must have been about 12, 11. Yeah. And
so around Maresfield sort of time.
Yeah.
That does ring a bell for some reason.
Because I remember saying to myself, I'm going to go well fucking fast here. And then the guy literally hit his door, went splatting over. And the guy came out and he was like, "Oh, Charlie, what happened?" And I was like, "Oh, I've fallen off my bike, sir." Sir. I was like, "Oh, we'll come and get you sorted out and whatever."
Yeah.
Rang my mum. So this is what I mean. Is
blimey,
I think being around those different kind of cultural differences, it's just being a nice person in general, and that's what makes
it being normal, isn't it?
Is seeing someone with a different colour of skin to you and noticing from a young age that they're exactly the same as you is an important thing.
I'm so glad.
It's such an important thing.
Such a cliche.
Like my mum said to me the other day,
exactly,
and I was saying to her, I'm so glad we've grown up somewhere where, and obviously it's predominantly white, we all know that, but I'm so glad we've grown up somewhere that we've always seen black people, Asian people.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what we see?
My first friend.
There's not that many, but
with like African dad, wasn't he?
Yeah, like, it's predominantly white, but we've always seen other ethnicities, and like I met Rahim in year 5.
Yeah.
So that was when he moved from Bangladesh, and it was just it was normal. We found out we liked cricket, and I was like, "Oh shit, I like cricket as well." And he just played it. It's like you don't give a shit.
Well, it's even like, for example,
that's it. You don't
care,
I never, as a kid, I never thought.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got different skin colours.
But
It was
the
more
problem-
like we both like Power Rangers. We both like hitting each other. We both like football.
Exactly.
We'll be mates.
And the thing is, it brought it home to me when I went to uni, and there were people who had lived in like
proper sheltered lifestyles.
Yeah, proper sheltered.
Yeah.
They'd never seen, and I remember them saying, if they saw a black person in their village, for example, it was just like a big thing. Because they just don't see it. It's all white people.
Unbelievable.
And to me, that was mental. I was like, what?
That's the other thing.
But those are the people that have those, like, they make
those mindsets,
You know how, like, you make a joke or whatever? But you know when you get to people who make jokes all the time, you start to think, okay, it's not a joke, is it? You see it all the time.
It's actually embedded in your
exactly.
thinking. Yeah.
That's the problem with the country. That's why they're called minorities.
Just to fill everyone in, I work in a very, like, a private golf club, so everyone there's fairly old and
about to die.
Pretty rich. So, as you can imagine, most of them are white, being from where we're from.
Yeah.
One time we had a black guy come in who is a cleaner, and this was on a day where it was basically the old boys.
Yeah.
The old boys.
And I remember he walked straight through the front door, and everyone was in the main room.
Yeah.
And he walked straight through the front door and he was like, you're right, mate, where do I start cleaning? And so I obviously showed him the cleaning room and where all his stuff was. And then an old guy came up and he was like, who on earth is that and what's he doing here? I was sitting there like...
Yeah.
Who is that? And
mate,
the other one is what I told you about. You don't know
disgusting,
about this yet because I don't know if you're on box.
Yeah, it's cracked me up.
Literally 2 days ago.
Right.
The man came in and I was going to give him a drink. And he's like, "Oh, I feel bad for you young people with this coronavirus. Like, you get all the blame from the government and all this sort of thing. Get made out it's your fault and whatnot."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, this is nice and refreshing. Like, someone's actually like siding with us, like younger people." And he goes, "I blame the Muslims and the blacks." I was like, "Fucking hell, man!" And then I just walked out of the room.
And the thing is,
what a way to quiet a room.
Yeah, mate,
it cracked me up, but it cracked me up because it was so unbelievably stupid.
Yeah.
There's no basis.
You
There's
just read the Sun and
Literally.
believe
there's
everything
like-
you've seen.
There's no logic to
to blame coronavirus on black people and Muslims is the most ridiculous thing I've ever. There's no basis.
What you should have
not
asked him
at
in
all.
that situation though is, Where do you find that?
Nah.
What kind of? Where do you
No,
find that?
I'm not being funny. If they're like that, then they're like
They're
that.
not-
They
yeah,
don't
they're
even
not-
bother
no,
arguing.
Well, he's old. He's not changing.
Yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is, if it, say for example, if it was, that's always what I like to do when I'm talking to someone who's like has slightly like, do you know what I mean, weird opinions about certain things. I always like, where'd you find that research, mate? Where'd you find that?
Well, this is
That's
the thing.
an
This is
important
the
thing
thing.
to ask, 'cause then they
Obviously,
go, I found it on the internet.
The first immediate thought that came into my head was, for fuck's sake, and then like I was just like, oh my god, and then I just walked out because I had nothing to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
just
there's
so
no point in
stupid.
arguing with him because he's never going to know. But
You
well,
say
he's
that.
obviously- yeah, you know.
I'm the opposite. I don't even bother because I personally, the thing that really, really, really pisses me off with this whole the Black Lives Matter and stuff is when people say, "Oh, they need to be educated." Like, you grow up knowing that racism is bad. It gets ingrained into you from a pretty early age that racism is bad.
Unless your parents are racist. What if they make it out that
okay.
it's good?
But there's enough stuff in the world for you to know that racism is bad. I don't even remember being taught it. I just remember always knowing that racism is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So I agree, maybe when you're young, in that sense, if your parents are racist, you have that kind of education period up to 18. But then when you get to an adult and you can make your own decisions and you have everything at your disposal and you still have racist opinions, that whole education thing can get fucked because you've decided, you know what racism is, but you've decided to be like that anyway. That's my opinion on it. Well, I think the education thing comes in what's it called? The systemic stuff.
Systemic
the
racism,
stuff that you don't see that doesn't occur to you.
What?
Like the wage gap and all that kind of thing. That's different. But overt racism, I'm not being funny. If you're 18 and you're overtly racist, then you're done. You can't be educated. You shouldn't. You know what racism is.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think due to that, there's like, because it's so ingrained in every aspect of society. It starts from the very top all the way down to the bottom.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very, 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 very long time before it's actually equal, if you know what I mean. Because if you think hundreds of years of like slavery and all these kinds of different things, and like these rules were made up back then. Do you know what I mean? Until we get to a point where we make up new rules, where there's a whole sort of new society in format instead of these rules written by hundreds of years old
Mate,
people.
you think about it.
Do you know what I mean?
Slavery only ended like
few hundred years
just over
ago.
100 years ago. That's like fuck all.
Just
really.
fuck all, mate. And you think
Still
the
slavery
thing
going
that
on.
spins me out.
Yeah,
Mate,
exactly.
the thing that spins me out more than anything, you look back to the 60s, there's still segregation in the
Yeah,
60s,
I
and that
know,
was like
I know.
only 50 years ago.
I know. It's mental.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Mate, racism is as prevalent today as it ever has been. Maybe not as bad as like.
But it feels,
we need
but
to
if it's not, it feels intensified because of everything.
Yeah.
The internet especially.
I think I'm so glad the whole Black Lives Matter movement happened this year because
Well, it was the perfect point.
but it showed up the problems in society. Like it showed up how racist the country actually is. It showed up how people still have problems with it. The thing that pisses me off is the whole, oh well, the country's racist, but it's not as racist as it used to be. It's like, do you think they've actually just changed their mind? Obviously not. They've just stay more quiet about it.
Yeah.
People are still racist. They're more subtle about it.
Yeah.
So
for
that
sure.
whole Black Lives Matter thing, and within 2 weeks, everyone was getting fed up with it, and that instantly shows the problem, the systemic problems. It's the exact thing that people are talking about.
I genuinely thought there was going to be some sort of civil war in America.
Yeah, I know.
At one point. It got
near.
bad, mate.
Mate, it still is because with the whole Breonna Taylor thing yesterday,
I know.
that how they didn't get
They didn't
found
get- yeah, I
guilty.
know.
Yeah.
There's people, the riots are starting.
America's a
shot,
fucking
mate.
What
weird
was the
place,
other
mate.
one? There was something else.
Mate, in fucking
There was a case, and then somehow the evidence got wiped off. The
Why?
system.
Yeah.
What was that from?
It was Grenfell.
Oh, yeah,
Grenfell.
Grenfell.
yeah,
that's
that's
it. Yeah,
fucked.
yeah.
It's like
They deleted it.
Of course it did.
Basically.
this is what's so frustrating. Like about, I wish the government was smarter. I wish they were smart in the way that they could actually hide this properly and not make it completely fucking obvious. Do you know what I mean? Like you think the government would be quite smart in the way that they'll go, oh yeah, look, we will delete this properly and we will find no one will ever find out. And then, but they do it so blatantly obvious. Where someone
I can't seem to
you just see a
find it on the
verified person
system.
on Twitter say, oh, the files for Grenfell have all been deleted, and then everyone just get fucking retweets it all.
The good thing about this shit,
yeah, you got a good point there. How the fuck are they not clever enough to cover it up convincingly?
I know, it's the same with anything, even in America.
Jesus
like,
Christ.
how do you not cover it up properly? You have all these resources and you don't cover it up properly.
I think that's
Do
the
your
interesting
job,
thing
mate.
I found about this year. I think people like naturally, when you're young, especially, you think like politicians are like the cleverest people that are right up there.
Yeah.
If anything, this year has taught me is that politicians are just as fucking idiotic as the rest of the country.
Yeah.
They've not got a clue what to do. The one that made it obvious to me was the GCSE and A-level thing.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whoever
mate,
came up with that algorithm
Mate,
is a fucking idiot.
isn't he?
Like, there is no way that anyone should look at that and think, oh, yeah, that'll work. Let's just base it on 5 years of results from that school. It's like, you can't believe how stupid it is.
Individuals are individual.
Yeah,
Believe
I
it or
know.
not.
Do you
So-
know what gives me hope in life, though, is the fact I just think of Boris Johnson in his boxer briefs eating Marmite. And that just sort of, it makes me think of like, do you know what? If this guy can be the leader of the country, I can make a measly podcast. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
trust me. Yeah.
Exactly.
it's like, do you know what I mean?
Mate,
We're
do you
run
know
by a
what
bunch of...
do you know what actually like blows my mind still to this day is how Donald Trump and Boris Johnson are
the two leaders of like the biggest
like two blonde, like, well, weird looking hair. Like Boris Johnson's
mate.
got wiped out that guy in the soccer aid one time, didn't he? Fucking.
Mate,
what's his name?
fucking
Trump
he
might
really-
as well be a paedophile with Epstein. Like he's been on the island,
And
whatnot.
he was the host of The Apprentice for
know.
like
Yeah,
15
yeah,
seasons.
that's true,
He's
yeah.
a reality star, isn't he?
And
That's what he is.
Mate,
fucked is that?
How fucked is this, right? They did a Comedy Central roast on him before he became president.
Oh man,
That country, we're shit, but that country is.
it
something
does.
else.
Yeah,
Complete. It's a popularity contest, mate. This is
Yeah.
all it is.
Yeah.
But what's annoying is, you never see a working class politician in the UK.
no.
Not really.
You're not really. You have the
I mean,
few,
you get Labour, but
you
Labour-
don't have like a proper like. I don't know. I'm going to sound like fucking get Tommy
Yeah, I
Robson
know- I
in,
know
but
what
do you know
you
what I
mean,
mean?
Like,
Like
proper
a
come from,
humble
like, the
person.
dirt,
Do you know what I mean? A humble,
Yeah,
good
yeah.
person who's from working class background. You don't see it.
Well, that's the problem.
They're all from Eton and
I'll,
shit.
I'll always say, I'll always say it. If you've grown up in a nice, rich, sheltered lifestyle and you've gone to Eton and then you become a politician, how can you have any way of knowing what the country
rest of the
wants?
world lives
Yeah.
like, basically.
You
It's only
can't.
the minority that lives like you.
It's like with all these like the COVID rules and GCSEs and all that shit. All it proves is that they have no idea how real people live and work and survive.
Well,
It's just so obvious, but it's obvious. Like all they do is out themselves.
it's so completely obvious, mate. It is. It's. You even look at sort of how they've told people, oh yeah, go out, help out to eat out, help out to do this, blah blah blah. Go out, do all this different stuff. But I think they knew full well that there was going to be a second lockdown.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get the economy
Second
right
wave.
back up so that it has a bit of
just cover
stability.
it as much as they can anyway.
before it goes back down. But
Yeah.
at the same time, that gives them enough firepower for them to sort of blame the young people and then give them the ammunition to say, oh, look, we blame the young people, so they must stay inside.
I
for
can't
this
believe we're the
second
ones
lockdown."
getting blamed for it as well.
Mate, innit?
It's ridiculous.
Mate, as if one of the top guys in the government actually broke the full lockdown rules when we were in proper lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, I went to get an eye test or something stupid. Oh, man.
Mate, and the fact that Boris has just come back from fucking Italy.
Trust me.
What a don! Oh yes, what a donny!
Yeah, if I don't know, if we go to a pub, it's fucking our fault, mate.
Yeah, I know. I was just getting that state where I'm like, is it just as easy being a politician to just like suggest stuff? Because that's what it
I
seems.
reckon
It
what
seems
they
that people
do
just suggest stuff. and
I
I'm
reckon
just
what
like,
they do
yeah,
is they
we'll go
open
with
up their portfolio every morning, they sit
it.
around the table, they have their fucking Marmite or whatever.
They just
and
sit
their
in the
tea,
House
and they
of
go,
Commons and you could basically say
yes.
anything you want. So let's say I don't know. Give me something stupid, some stupid sentence.
Like Marmite should be made illegal.
Yeah, they all do that. And then the other guy stands up and he's like, I disagree.
Yeah,
And you know what it is as well when they fall asleep with that.
Oh man,
They're
yeah.
like, sort
I
of,
can't stand that whole thing. It's like,
Trust me,
it's
man.
so
stark up.
Tory.
You're not
We-
real. This is not.
This is not
Unfortunately,
real
we're never
thing.
going to break away from anything until we like reinvent like society in a way where we can go to Parliament and not go.
You
Sound
can back
like
me
a
up on this.
fucking walrus.
I've said since fucking ages ago that I don't think the way life's set up is just wrong in myself. Like I think that's how I think.
It's just wrong.
No, it's like. I mean, I guess you need certain currencies and whatnot to have established society, but.
Cheers, that's from the financial advisor. Right?
No, but you know what I mean. But it's
I know
like,
what you mean.
It's like we weren't put on this earth to work a shit job, make money so we can eat.
Just so we can survive.
Yeah, we should be able to pick
we should be
berries
able to
off trees.
thrive.
Like, homelessness should never be a thing.
Yeah.
It's just a diversion of money, isn't it? That's the issue.
Yeah.
Divert them from wealthy bankers and high elite prostitutes and lower it down to the food banks.
That's the thing with politics. I think people make it so complicated. Sometimes it just needs someone to look back and just think, you're all fucking knobheads.
What they need is Will Marlowe to walk in there and go,
Oh, fuck.
What we fucking need?
what we're going to do is we're going to have the first institution throughout workplaces throughout the UK. They get 2 lunches. That is the max.
That's the max. Stella on tap, every bar.
Fucking right, son.
Stella's the new currency.
Friday night, it's obligatory to go down the boozer.
It's a weird country.
Weird fucking country.
It's funny, like, I think about this quite a lot. And I used to say I can't wait to leave and just go live in, like, Greece or Spain or somewhere.
What, like a Mamma Mia? Where you're just singing
exactly
on the
like
beach
that.
every day.
Exactly like that. But,
My.
but in reality, like, I need to like be near to my mates because if I'm not with my mates, I'll get down.
So we'll move to Greece. We'll have a big fat
So
Greek wedding.
yeah, ideally I'd have like a house in Spain that I live with.
We can all live off feta cheese
and then
sun
when I want to see my mates, come home because this country is shit.
Yeah. Well,
What would
there's
do
worse
is-
places to live at the same time.
Yeah,
but,
Ukraine. That's up there.
Yeah,
but it's not nowhere's perfect, is it?
no.
Apart from the Maldives, really, really nice there.
Bora Bora. Always see that on Insta. Girls like, oh my
I
god.
want to go swimming with the pigs.
Fuck's
The
sake.
wild
Do you know what it is? They all do that for Instagram as well. They don't give a shit about the pigs or where they are. It's
So
just
how
like
was your
a stunt
holiday? It's
for
just
other
like,
people.
I don't actually remember.
But we went swimming with pigs.
We're taking so many pictures, I just can't really remember.
And then Darren, he got in the pool and then he was like, do you want to come in, babe? And I was like, yeah.
Oh dear.
And then we had canapes, and oh my god, the butler was just.
I just
And then we went back,
It's
ate
so
crisps
amazing.
on the bed with the air conditioning on, and then we got ready, had a cocktail,
And
went
then
down.
we had roast dinner.
So,
The most English fucking
Oh,
food.
John.
in
so what was the
world.
country? What was the country like? Well, the beach is really good. Like, no, what was the country like? Oh, we didn't really see anything. We just stayed in
Oh.
a hotel.
Well, we did see like a big church thing. Oh, you mean the Eiffel Tower? I think that's what it's called.
Remember we went to Bali and had McDonald's? So much culture.
Oh, mate. I'm not gonna lie. When I go on holiday, I'll get pissed off if anyone says to go Mackies. Unless
No,
we're
it
all
depends if you're
smashed.
smashed.
Well,
yeah,
to be
yeah.
fair, it really,
If you're mashed.
it really depends if you're waiting on someone putting on sun cream.
That's very true. That is very
If you're absolutely ravenous and you're the guy you're staying with is doing that and applying that one
Fucking
by
hell,
one,
I've
finger
Mr.
by
Biggs,
finger.
I've Mr. Biggs.
It's OCD.
Oh,
Also,
mate.
you've got to make sure you're nicely covered because then when you put it on the
Yeah, that's what you do is you put that in your hand and then go like that.
yeah, no, but then when you put on the tan intensifying after sun, then you get the nice tan.
This is the problem. Because when we were on holiday, we were like, oh, we're not being egotistical here, but we were like, oh, we might see some ladies down there.
Might be
Yeah.
some
All right,
girls.
let's get down there.
I will admit,
We'll find the beds. And
I will admit, part of it was just me being very lazy and like I just couldn't be asked to move.
Yeah, but you can do that at the pool.
No, like, you know what I mean? It's like
That's literally-
That is
There's
the
a-
whole point
there's a
of the
point.
pool and the beds next to the pool is to be lazy and
the
do
fact
nothing.
the fact is the fact that we left the room, went and got McDonald's, monged around for a little bit, walked around a bit,
Had a
went
swim,
back,
had a swim.
had a swim,
Went back out.
and then went back out, sat on the bed. I listened to a full podcast,
Mate.
And then we went back up to the room, and he was still putting on sunscreen.
We got to fill people in here because they don't have a clue what we're talking
But
about.
I did, to
Basically,
be fair to me, I
fair.
did mong around. For like
we went
an hour,
to
didn't I?
Very monging,
Marbella, us three, last summer.
People are going to listen to me like, oh, you went Marbella. They're going to think we're, but
No, we were oddballs out there. Don't get me wrong.
Let's be honest, we weren't paying £1,000 a day for a bed.
No, we did it- we did
weren't doing
Marbella
that.
on a
loved
budget.
We did it cheap.
I love
It was so good,
I
but-
spent the whole holiday looking at people just like, are those lips real? Or Do you know what I mean?
there were
Like,
so
there
many-
were so many Towie and Made in Chelsea type people, and you're looking at them like, fucking hell, is this real?
Yeah.
It was good though.
Well, it was like it was quite good in the nightclubs though, because
I thought it was
even
well, yeah,
though the
well,
drinks were like £20, like I was just dancing there by myself, just like, and then people would just look at you weird. You'd be like,
yeah. So
"Right, I don't care."
this is
Yeah.
the thing I found really interesting. So first night I went to a club. It was quite expensive, but it was good because like we've only ever been in cheap ones.
Yeah.
So
Mad,
we were
yeah.
in there, and what you realise is those type of people. How do you describe it? It's not like posh, but
Snobby, but they're trying to keep up a persona.
Yeah, they're trying to keep up a persona.
Yeah, like the people, basically the people that stand in the corner of the club with sunglasses on, even though it's pitch black.
Yeah. So
Them people.
we're there just like normal people, normal lads, just like dancing around, having a good
I had a
time.
floral fucking shirt on with some shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
exactly.
like, do you know what I mean? That's how seriously I
And
was
there was
taking
like
it.
15 and it got to like 15 minutes, half an hour, and people were standing around us looking at smiling, like they were enjoying the fact that we were having
Yeah,
fun.
that we're having
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good
and
time.
they started to gravitate around us
Yes.
and like started to join in. But it was
Exactly.
almost like they didn't feel like they could do anything until they saw
Yeah,
someone
until they
else.
saw somebody else doing
And
it.
it was so
It's
weird.
fucking-
Like, I remember,
break
I remember,
the ice
Yeah,
almost,
I
yeah,
remember
yeah.
looking around thinking this is well odd.
Yeah.
Very.
And
odd.
that woman who like had a go at you because she thought you like,
I was trying to get with her, even though I was just.
Oh,
standing
you
yeah,
like threw
just
ice at
standing
her
there.
or something.
Yeah, even though I was just standing there doing nothing.
Yeah, and because I looked at her, I was like, fuck, and she was like, oh no, I thought he was like friend. I was like,
Mate, that
no.
was
yes,
going
yeah.
back to what we were saying earlier.
I
That
said,
was a
like-
classic situation where I can't hear shit because the background
Yeah.
noise. And she kept saying stuff, and I was like,
Sorry, what?
And then she did the whole like,
Yeah.
and because I was looking at her, just like, and she saw me do it. She was like, what was he say? What'd he say? I was like, I thought he threw ice at me. I was like, nah, he didn't. do
Yeah,
anything.
oh shit, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah,
she,
yeah,
and she
she
was just like, oh no, sorry, it's just that I was like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, she was
Whatever,
proper
go
weird.
away,
Shut
mate,
up,
yeah.
she. What the fuck?
It's
Very,
a weird
very
place,
weird.
but I would recommend Marbella just for
No,
people,
yeah, I
for
would,
normal for normal people
for
to go
anyone,
out
to be honest,
Yeah.
even if you are minted as well, like it's a sick
but
place.
for
to go.
normal people to go out just to see how those type
The
of
only
people act,
part,
it's
the only place I
fucking
felt
funny.
like semi-regular was Lineker's, and that was just
Yeah,
that's only
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's like college
Yeah.
people,
proper like laddie,
yeah.
Yeah.
few girls in there.
Do
you
Yeah,
know
it's
what
just-
the toilet
it is
wouldn't
because
let me
I
out?
like it when we go there though, because when you go there, we're not the most laddie guys, but you hear, but
We're
normal.
But we
We're
go
normal,
there,
yeah.
but when you sit there, like for example, when we're sitting there with those like three like manual labourers, they're
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely jacked, and they're from Newcastle. Like, yeah, all right, lads.
Just normal working
lads.
class,
Do you want to see
yeah.
this video? It's them fucking shagging some prostitute on the balcony from the day before.
It just feels like more normal, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then you walk down and there's some girl with lips the size of Africa. And it's like,
Fucking hell, that must be racist.
Fuck's sake.
you know what I mean?
Oh dear.
Fun holiday life.
Yeah,
Do you remember
it's
that guy in
good.
the toilet who wouldn't let me out?
Yeah. What,
Oh,
what
you
was
didn't
it
tip
for?
him?
No. He,
Oh.
Like, so I went toilet, came out, and he was just like, "No, you're doing coke." And I was like, "No."
That's
I
it,
wasn't."
yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, I feel like if I was a few years younger, I would have been like, "No." But like,
Yeah.
because I
you're
know
confident about
the
it, yeah.
trick, I was just like, "No, I wasn't, mate. Fucking let me go." I just walked out. Weird.
No, that is funny.
Yeah, that is. 'Cause I remember I was standing outside and I was obviously being myself, so
Yeah.
oblivious. And I was just like, where is Will?
I walked out like, "Fucking."
He's gone for a shit in a club.
But he was stacked as well. I was like, "Please don't make this difficult." Like,
Yeah.
you know I haven't done coke. Just
Yeah.
let me go. There will be someone doing coke at some point.
Yeah, at some point.
And when they do it, you chuck them out. But it wasn't me.
That's the last time I've ever felt like I could drink a fairly substantial amount. Because even
Yeah,
I remember,
I agree.
I remember towards the end of that holiday, I was like, yeah, from this point forward, I think my tolerance is gonna be a bit shit. Because there were a few nights. Well, it's the same with any night, but like where you have to power through your 3 drinks and you have to sort of force them down a little bit. But then it's weird, isn't it? Because you can get through those drinks and then after that you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's
Yeah,
do you know
it's
weird
more,
how you have to
drunk
power through.
state. If you get through the drunk state, or at least for me, I'll get through like the
like
smashed
once you
drunk
actually
state,
feel a bit drunk,
then I'll get through that. Then I'll start to feel a bit normal, but then the hangover's fucked in the morning.
The main fucking hell, I can't talk. It's the tiredness is the main thing.
Yeah,
It's because you haven't slept basically. Like we were up till 8 in the morning most nights.
yeah.
That's true. That's true.
But
Mate,
the thing
that
is,
was so
like,
bad. I was going for
I
a
just-
pack
I
of
just-
fags a night,
yeah.
mate.
I just felt like I couldn't hack it anymore
Yeah.
because when we went Malia,
No, I reckon I could. I could, I think.
I definitely couldn't.
the thing is,
No,
I mean, we still did
hang on.
it.
We're
We
going to
still
be
did
going
it.
on boys.
Yeah, we
Well,
still did it.
Corona depending. We're going to be going on boys' holidays when we get married and stuff. So what are you talking about?
Yeah.
but I just like if I compare it to Malia, every single night, 18 years old, getting mashed.
Oh yeah.
There were nights where I remember thinking I'm going to throw up. when
But
I
then
do that.
again-
and then you wake up in the morning completely fresh.
Then again,
it's the
remember the
weirdest thing,
last
isn't
day.
it?
Whereas with
Remember the last day we couldn't make it up.
yeah, that's a good point. But I just remember Marbella was like every single morning I felt like I don't want to go out tonight, and then you get to like 5 and you're like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
But give
me,
it
you have
2
to-
years and we won't be able to.
You have to sit in the sun for a little bit, drink a Coke.
Yeah,
Fucking-
exactly. Talk to girls.
Well, attempt to.
That ain't happening.
So that video I got of you, just like there was a girl, you there and a girl there. I was like, in your own time.
When was that? In Malia?
Yeah. So I said it to Red, and he was just, you were like, what the fuck do you send that for? You slipped you right up.
In Malia?
No, Marbella.
Oh, Marbella.
You're like sitting on the edge of the pool, and there was a like girl.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
They're
you're
they're the awkwardest ones though, the pool. Because
Mate.
whatever you do, you sort of look like a fucking idiot.
Well, 'cause I
Just
actually
sort
said
of-
so,
a lot of
yeah.
those girls were
Walk
quite
over.
like, they
They're
just
weird.
didn't get. You know when you say something, they're like, okay, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
It's a rejection.
Yeah.
That was the one where I was sitting on the edge of the pool. What was I meant to do? A fucking
Yeah,
roly
I like
poly over there or something.
Just most of it Snapchat.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. My ego's been hurt now.
Episode 75.
Could be the last one for a while, but we never know. So hopefully see you next time.
That's not down to
No, it'd be fine. It'd be absolutely fine.
It'll be alright.
We'll keep
Alright, cheers
producing
for watching.
content for you, and